Why in the world would I talk about the Tangled live-action remake? It's a live-action remake. I'm pretty sure I have made my feelings on this very, very clear. Well, yeah, I cared when there was a possibility that they might cast Sabrina Carpenter as Rapunzel. That was an interesting concept, at least. But since they've decided not to do that, I don't know that I don't care about this movie. Why would I talk about it? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. Why? What do you mean the banners are blue? Why are the banners blue? 'Cause anyone who has seen Tangled knows that the Kingdom of Corona is purple. The banners are purple. Rapunzel wears purple. It's purple and gold, right? Like, Rapunzel wears purple and her hair is gold. Those are her two colors, character design wise, right? This is Rapunzel, this is her color scheme, and the whole reason for that is because the kingdom is purple and gold. This has been established since the beginning. So why are the banners blue? Is this petty? Yes. Does this matter at the end of the day? Not really. I just think it's silly. Why are they blue? And the funniest part is I have been sitting here for months, genuinely months at this point, waiting for any word from the live action How to Train Your Dragon 2 set. And there's been nothing for months. No leaks, no set photos, no nothing. And then they started filming Tangled in Spain. And we have multiple new set photos coming out every single day. Like, I've had to put off making this video for, like, personal reasons, but it's probably a good thing because, again, every day I open Twitter and there is another photo from the set. We've seen the Stabbington brothers, who I saw one tweet that said they have not made white people like this in the last 1100 years. So I don't know where they found these guys, which, like, the Stabbington brothers look great.
You guys look amazing.
We know Catherine Hahn has arrived on set. Just today, we got a clip of the Flynn and Rapunzel actors walking across a bridge. A bit of a distant shot. And I'm sitting here going, does Disney have no security on this set? Like, at all? Is there just, like, nothing? No protection at all? Especially, like I said, compared to How to Train Your Dragon 2, where I'm still waiting. And, like, the only reason I care about live action How to Train Your Dragon 2, if you look at my channel, is because of Eret, son of Eret, right? My channel is literally Song W. Eretson. Because I have a huge crush on Eret, okay? And now, the reason these are connected in my head is because I'm a Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons fan. I'm still writing Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons fanfic. I'm trash, okay? I am trash for this fandom, and some things will never change. Like, that is just a core part of my personality at this point. Even when I move on to writing original stories again, I will still be Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons trash. That's just all there is to it. And so that's why I'm paying attention to this. Do I want a live action Tangled? Not really, but I will say some of these set photos look interesting. There's been some talk that the story might be a little different from the animated movie, which, like, good. In my opinion, the only really good live-action remake was Cinderella, because that one was not shot for shot, beat for beat, copy-paste from the original. It was something completely different. That's part of why I love Cinderella, and also just the fact that movie was so good. That movie... The Cinderella live action remake is one of my favorite movies, period. Hands down. Disney has not done that with most of their live action remakes. And even most of those remakes are at least 30 years old. Now we're over here. We're not talking about Moana. We're not going to talk about Moana. Meanwhile, Tangled is 16 years old, and it's an almost perfect movie. Even if, yes, I do ship Rapunzel with Jack Frost, but that's besides the point. Tangled is a great movie for what it is. It doesn't need a live action. What is the point? However, I will admit that some of these pictures have me interested. Now, there's been this picture going around with people claiming that this is concept for the movie, concept art for the movie. No, this is not a movie concept. This is fan art. The artist has talked about it, and this is not an official concept for the movie. From what we've seen, Rapunzel's dress does look very similar to the animated version, albeit in a darker color, which is probably something to do with Gothel. Honestly, we will see what happens. I think it's a little too dark. I think when they're making these live action movies, they should completely step away and do something totally different with the costumes. If they were going to copy anything, there's a Tangled stage show on some of the Disney cruises that has a completely different style of dress. It's right here. I know this one because it's part of my inspiration folder for my original story universe. But I love this dress, and I would love to see something like this in the live action movie, but we're probably not gonna see that. I am still extremely cautious about this because, like I said, I don't like live action remakes on principle. I think it serves to delegitimize animation in the public eye and in Hollywood in general. And I think in most cases it looks cheap. And I think it's just ridiculous and a cash grab. But at the same time, I think it's possible to do something good with it. Like I said, the live action Cinderella, one of my favorite movies. I'm fine with live action remakes if you actually do something with it. If you actually justify, give the live action a reason to exist that is not just animated movie now with live action, because I guess some people take that more seriously. Disney, you're an animation studio. Stop being embarrassed about that and instead work on public perception and influencing people to take animation more seriously. But what do I know? Now, as a side note, since I joked about it, my boyfriend and I have talked about, the fact that there's no set photos or anything from How to Train Your Dragon, whereas we're getting so many from Tangled. I know most likely the reason for that is just because of the difference in sets. Tangled is filming on location in Spain, in an area that is heavily populated, whereas the Burke set for How to Train Your Dragon is up in Norway or somewhere out of the reach, or some way out of the way. So it does make sense that you wouldn't be able to get people who can make leaks. So I get that. I joked about it, but I get it. Even so, I do think Universal should reach out to me and get my approval on the Eret design, because obviously don't they know Eret's mine? Don't they know that? Don't they know I should have final approval over that? They should have contacted me about the casting. But, whatever. Like I said, I am Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons trash. This will always be true, probably for the rest of my life. You're never getting this out of me. That is why, in my mind, these things are and always will be related to each other. And I can't talk about one without talking about the other. Okay. Because I highly doubt we're ever going to see a live action Brave or a live action Rise of the Guardians. And no, Merida in Once Upon a Time does not count. Don't get me started on that. Do not get me started on how awful that Anyway, yeah, so I'll admit, some of the set photos look good. I am at least glad that there is an on-location element to this. And like the first pictures we got were of Maximus and the puppet that they're going to be using for Maximus. And so it's apparently going to be a mix of like a real horse, a puppet, and CGI. You know what? I'm all for practical effects. I am all for practical sets. I like that a whole lot better than everything being filmed on a green screen. So I'm happy about that. At least I'm happy to see that. However, I am still confused. Still confused why the banners are blue. Disney, if you want to sell me on that, you're gonna have to do something amazing with this movie. I'm just saying. So, like, will I see the live action Tangled? At this point, probably. I'm invested. And I'm not sure if that's just because, you know, now I'm following these. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. And when I get to the end of this video, I'll do a little bit of a personal update as to why. There is this particular photo of some extras. I'm a bit confused by this one because the silhouette is so different. Like this I'm gonna have to check my details, but like, isn't this like Italian Renaissance style with that particular cut? I just find this a bit out of place from the overall design that we're seeing for this movie. Or I just think this one looks a little out of place, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there will be an explanation. I'll try not to judge too much on that one. But again, it does kind of make sense that this is a set that is out in the open. There are people around, so it makes sense that people are able to catch a glimpse. Although I still think Disney could have more security and, you know, close stuff off a little better. But I saw someone speculate that, like, maybe Disney is letting this happen to build hype. And I'll be honest, it's working for me. Okay? I am interested. And maybe it's because, obviously, I have an investment in Tangled overall. Because, you know, I've been writing Tangled fan fiction for almost 15 years at this point. 14 years. Yeah. Tangled is also one of those movies that came to me at a really dark time in my life, and then as the whole Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons movies came out, and that just very weird dark time in my life absolutely saved my life, and that's part of why I'm so invested, right? Okay, my point is, will I see this movie? Probably yes. Do I want to see it? I don't know, because I don't like live action remakes. I think I've made that very clear. Maybe at some point I'll break that down a bit more. But point is, at the same time, now I'm kind of invested, and I am gonna have to see what they do with this. And I am very curious to see, once we start getting actual shots from the movie. We haven't actually seen Rapunzel's dresses. So once we do, I'll probably do another video about that. Just because I really care about costuming, and I really like costuming, and yeah, so I am opposed to the live action remakes on principle unless they do something to justify their existence, and I am waiting to see if this one will do something to justify its existence. So we'll see what happens. And I'm still waiting on word from the live action How to Train Your Dragon 2 set. Maybe they'll tell us something soon. I feel like we're getting to the point they should start giving us something. Although admittedly, for the last movie, I don't think they actually started giving us anything until just a few months before. So I guess I need to lock in for a bit more of a wait. Typical. Universal should still show me Eret, though. Okay, before I wrap this video up, I'm just gonna give a quick personal update for anyone who cares. I'm filming this on Tuesday. I am hoping it will go up Wednesday. The thing is, I've actually been away from home for 5 or 6 days at this point because the water heater broke during a heat wave, so I couldn't use the shower. So I've been staying at my mom's for the last 5 days, which has been a bit of an experience in and of itself, but mostly good. It was mostly good. I came home last night because it was supposed to be fixed early this morning, but the plumber got sick, apparently. So I still have to go to my mom's again tonight so I can take a shower after work. As it is, I need to go get ready for work, but... Okay. Yeah. I'm happy to be home, but hopefully it will actually be fixed tomorrow. Please, God, let the water heater be fixed tomorrow, because I can't take much more of this. Okay, that's my personal update. There are my thoughts on the pictures that we have gotten and just the idea of a Tangled remake in general. I'll probably have more to say as we get a little more, especially once we see what the dresses actually look like and once we see Catherine Hahn as Gothel. I am very curious to see what that's going to look like. She arrived on set a day or two ago from what we saw in the pictures, and I am very curious to see what she's going to look like in costume. And of course, we'll see what happens once we start getting official photos and trailers and stuff like that. I will probably let you know my thoughts. If you are new here, I'm Song to be Erickson. This is my channel where I talk about whatever's on my mind. And last few weeks, I've been going through a bit of a thing, figuring out what kind of things are on my mind and what I want to do with this channel. I've had to sort them. July has been a really rough month, okay? Mercury retrograde hit me really hard, but we're out of retrograde now, and I'm hoping things will get better, and I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. What else do you expect from me? I am going to wrap this video up here before I ramble too much. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye! But seriously, why are they blue?